Batch Data Collector and Free Data Collector. Study session number 8. Introduction to the Advanced Interface. The Advanced Interface allows you to greatly increase the power of a recipe. There are several ways to access it. Nothing prevents users from creating a basic recipe using the Excel-like interface and then converting it into the equivalent recipe suitable for the Advanced Interface. Let's see how. First, users must define, as before, the appearance of the Excel file that we would like to obtain at the end of the procedure. Users can use the inspector to help select their nodes, fill in the title of the recipe, and finally, press the Switch to Advanced button. The animation will overview the next steps. Each column, designed in the Excel-like interface, will now be arranged vertically, one above the other. Alongside each, multiple options will be expanded to specify the advanced properties of each column. You may notice that this logical approach is now more similar to the famous Microsoft Access database management system. The advanced area still maintains many similarities with the Excel-like interface. Specifically, the columns, in addition to being enumerated by means of progressive numbers, are headed with the column letters typical of a spreadsheet. As before, columns can be reordered, in this case vertically, by drag and drop. New columns can be added between two pre-existing ones or deleted using the plus and minus buttons of the header. Finally, next to each node field, you'll find the same Select button, which launches the inspector on the page of interest to the user. But before we go too far, let's take a step back and review a second way to load the advanced interface, which is by directly clicking on Go to Advanced Interface from the Start tab, or, when visible, clicking on the Recipe Editor tab. Each user is free to choose their preferred interface to open when starting the program. To do this, visit the Settings tab. In Interface and Accessibility, click on the What interface would you like to start with, and choose one of the values present among Standard, Easy Excel-like, Templates, and Advanced. The selection only becomes active by clicking on Save and Apply. The Advanced Interface is the real recipe editor of Free and Batch Data Collector that works in the background even when the Excel-like interface is in use. The recipe editor consists of the following areas. The Templates button, which expands the list of the most common templates to be used as a template for future recipes. A dedicated ribbon menu with certain functions shared with the Excel-like interface, such as Save Recipe, Reset Recipe, and Empty Results and Extract. The title bar of the recipe. The Main or Recursive Block selector, which, as we have already mentioned in Session 5, allows you to define the spectrum of visibility of the recipe. The selector of the tab to be used, that is, the list of open pages on which to apply the recipe. This list can be updated with the Update button. You may notice that the advanced interface skips our guided tours to allow more experienced users to choose the functions they need directly. We imagine this will gradually become easier to use over time. The Set Columns area is the program core that shapes the final Excel file to be downloaded. Inside, there's also the Detect menu, which allows you to auto-compose tables, along with various shortcut buttons to add columns to the end of the recipe, save, or reset the recipe. We remind you that save functionality is offered in our premium version, known as Batch Data Collector. Further down, users will find the Set Actions box, which is useful for creating complex workflows, such as managing timing at the level of a single recipe, or, as an example, integrating interactions with buttons on the page to be analyzed, or functions such as Go to Next Page. At the very bottom of the recipe editor, users will find the Recipe Application Progress bar, along with additional buttons for managing your data extraction. Returning to the top of the screen, you'll notice a slider that works on both the Recipe Editor and Batch tabs. This is the Simplified Interface toggle, which enables and disables the display settings dedicated to more experienced users.